many of you have already seen, just the sheer chaos and outrage and anger and list of adjectives over the President of the United States hosting a UFC event at the White House. Now, I don't see the big deal. There are a lot of people who are apparently super duper ultra angry over this one. I don't see it. And look, maybe it's just because I'm blind and I'm in the middle of the country and I know a lot of people who are into alternative sports. And I also have a bit of a personal affection for boxing, given that every plebe is forced to do it and not break their nose before Friday night dates. But I will say, when you have the Weather Channel that is like hoping for the event to fail, that's really, really weird. So Jimmy Kimmel, citing, again, the Weather Channel, pointed out that heading for Donald Trump's big Freedom 250 UFC event, again, because they can't complain that it's taxpayer money being wasted, because the UFC is paying for all of it. And Paramount as well, I should say. So what do? They start suggesting on June 14th, quote, the UFC Freedom 250 event, according to the freaking Weather Channel, is facing a chaotic weather setup on the White House South Lawn with a 60% chance of thunderstorms, heavy downpours, wind gusts of up to 34 miles an hour threatening to delay the outdoor fights. On top of the storm risk, brutal DC humidity is driving a triple-digit heat index, along with massive swarms of mosquitoes and gnats that fighters will have to battle inside the cage. Okay, guys, why are we doing the weather forecast as though we're trying to manifest the plagues of Egypt? Maybe it's different since the days of, the wonderful fusion jazz and enjoying, scrolling vistas of weather forecasting. Now we're predicting swaths of insects, and then frogs, and the Holy Spirit shall fly through the city of Cairo, and every door should have the blood applied upon the post. And of course, nothing happened. You'll know this because it was talked about all over social media. Essentially, the weather split around DC, which, by the way, a lot of people are saying this is some kind of a divine intervention thing. If you live anywhere near I-70, one of the great interstates that cuts the country in half, you will know that weather often either is north of you or south of you. Very rarely is it right over you. And if it's right over you, you are well and truly bleeped. There are large concrete structures like interstates and also cities, former science teacher going to jump in here, that do in fact kind of change and affect weather. That's why you don't see major cities that are flattened every single storm season by tornadoes, though they can happen. Anywho, so one of the cool events over that UFC event was the rainbow with the lightning across it. Really cool photos and videos came out of it. It's just cool. It's just some of that stuff is again, neat. I will say this. I have watched a few of the clips afterward. I was spending time with my family. My kids are a little young to be watching the UFC, so I had to catch some of that stuff later. The fanfare, I love it. Again, I am very, very much a down at my home heart, a Teddy Rooseveltian imperialist. So if the President of the United States actually lives up to the hype and walks out with trumpets after smacking around Venezuela and Cuba and Iran, not exactly a hard sell for me. Here's the president walking out. Trumpet fanfare with Dana White. Now, I know a lot of libertarians really don't like that I like that stuff, but I don't care. So I know the neocons, the Nikki Haley-ish kind of wishy-washy kinds don't care for that either. I don't care. If America is going to celebrate its 250th properly, it better do so with some fanfare. And that includes one of the sports directly participated in by a president at the White House, which the UFC noticed. Radio crew, we're going to send you over to the commercial break. We're going to continue on the live stream. Be on the lookout for outraged crowds at wrestling cages. It's the Tony Kinnett Cast here on the Daily Signal. All right, so the octagon is set. And people are freaking out. Oh, how could this? This is so terrible. MS Now, formerly MSNBC, freaking out. They have Miles Taylor on to break down into sad tears. Oh, it's embarrassing and tragic and awful. Oh.
The country, I think, was humiliated by this spectacle. If you were going to create an image, Steph, of American decline, you could not have created an image that echoed better back to Roman times than this.
Okay. To be clear, at the same time that the left is suggesting, and all over social media, all over corporate media, slamming the UFC as white trash. Consistently, by the way. Slamming the UFC, oh, it's white trash, it's so terrible, it's so awful, because brands that they do not use, that they don't purchase, are involved. Monster Energy Drinks had a sponsorship there. And people are outraged. By the way, when you go to the G7 and outside, you can see the venue which was sponsored by BMW and Audi and various other high-end brands. Oh, all of a sudden it's okay. Oh, all of a sudden that's fine. But this is the reason the left makes no gains in masculinity whatsoever at all. They're like, oh, we have Graham Plattner, the alleged domestic abuser, the not alleged mercenary. So faking a big portion of his PTSD. I'm going to make that perfectly clear. Again, guys struggling with PTSD don't immediately come home, turn around, and go work for Blackwater. Anywho, and then also, may have been messaging little girls on Kik, the Predator minor messaging app, up to like a week and a half ago, while cheating on his wife. So they have that guy, their masculine man. And they have James Tallarico, I'm totally not a vegan, and also God is non-binary, and I love trans children, and all other kinds of nutcase nonsense. So those are their masculine guys, while the rest of their party with Miles Taylor here just calls any event that involves dudes fighting as barbaric and a decline of the country. I'm here to remind you, yet again, as I reminded other teachers in my master's program, I'm here to tell you again, that it is just as legitimate to use a word problem in the middle of the country that involves the UFC as it is to use lacrosse for a word problem up in New England. And why do I say that? Because I used to criticize, I have a degree in curriculum development, it's completely useless. And I used to criticize the big textbooks like Pearson, Houston Mifflin, etc., for writing these big textbooks with a bunch of elitist, non-culturally relevant word problems, and then students hated it and they couldn't figure out why. That's kind of what I'm saying here. The left has no idea that a lot of the country does in fact view boxing, mixed martial arts, wrestling as a sport. And they should be, because they are competitions to which there are championships, tournaments. Even CNN and some of their interesting crew on the documentary side recognized that this was okay. It wasn't political. It was just awesome.
I mean, having been here all weekend, talking to people from the Lincoln Memorial on Friday night where they had the ceremonial press conference. Obviously here at the Ellipse last night there was the ceremonial weigh-in, and of course tonight we're going to have the big fight. It's been a very surreal weekend here in Washington, D.C. I mean, this feels like a UFC event, right? And nobody here is really talking politics.
There you go. Not bad. Good old Michelle Obama saying that how awful it was because, no one ever lets black women complain. No one's ever allowed to complain if you're a black woman, and everyone is just always so mean and so terrible and so awful. And this just came after Jasmine Crockett had spent a ton of time suggesting that the reason the country was awful and that, sure, maybe the Metcalf family had lost their son after Carmelo Anthony stabbed him. So Jasmine Crockett said this while defending the murderer of Austin Metcalf, said his family had never experienced anything as bad as Jasmine Crockett had as a black woman. So again, we're doing this whole thing all over again where it's just the whining and the crying. Well, I'm here to share with you great and joyous news. Jasmine Crockett and Michelle Obama once again have a chance to whine and cry. I know, you were really concerned that wasn't going to happen. So one fighter, Josh Hockett, got up after his particular fight and he said the bad joke that you're not allowed to make that joke. Now you can make jokes that Vice President J.D. Vance had sex with a couch. You can make jokes about Donald Trump and his daughter. You can make jokes about all different kinds of really inappropriate or just kind of like dark humor stuff. But boy, if you ever, say that Michelle Obama is a man, ooh, I'm telling you, the school marm and librarian crew is going to come out and get you. Anyway, here's the clip.
And lastly, Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America? Ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, so everyone's laughing because, I mean, again, fooling around. Again, kind of a common joke. Some people believe it out there. Do I? No, I don't. Sorry. But I will say this, and I want to make this perfectly clear. Is this worth getting bent out of shape about? No. Why? Because every time we sit through, well, I don't know, I don't sit through them, but I see the clips the next morning, the Oscars or the Grammys or the Tonys or the Academy Awards of whatever, we hear people get up on stage and say truly disturbing, disgusting things. And why is that played off? Well, it's, you know, it's the emotions are running high. It's a very big victorious thing for them. And who cares if they say a little something? That's how that's played off. So I don't care as much here. Now, some people suggested that it was in poor taste and that I guess President Trump needed to apologize for this or whatever. Okay, again, all right. And then we get to the best of all, and this is, Whoopi Goldberg and Sonny Hostin have decided again, this is clearly evidence of not just racism, because clearly the only reason that people are making fun of Michelle Obama is because she's a black woman, which the desperation to be a victim. Now, again, I can still think that the joke is like kind of played out, but either way, I mean, it's not racist. Going further and saying it's evidence of slavery, though, bro, here you go.
Last night, you know who celebrated his 80th birthday at an event billed as UFC Freedom 250. Featuring
Was there a single like structural program promotion of Donald Trump other than him like walking out and then sitting and enjoying the fights? That would be a strong nope. No. Anyway.
Cage matches on the South Lawn of the White House. White House denies accusations that he's cashing in on the event, saying there's no conflict of interest because you know whose assets are in a trust managed by his kids.
They think they have something here, as though like his kids set it up and then we're getting a ton of money out of this. No.
If it's in a trust and I'm managing it, maybe he's not going to get no money. But if it's in a trust and his kids are managing it, they might get some money. He might get some money. Correct. But that's neither here nor there. There was also one fighter who used his victory speech to make a derogatory slur against former First Lady Michelle Obama. What did you make of yesterday's event?
I do want to address the derogatory slur.
Slur? Derogatory slur? It's not a slur. It's not. I mean, it's an accusation. It's a joke. Maybe even a joke that you find in poor taste. You may not like it. But saying that this is some kind of a derogatory slur
about the former First Lady Michelle Obama, because I think it's important to address. And we won't dignify what was said by repeating it, but you should look at.
Because then it would just be the claim that Michelle's a man, and said it joking, laughing, everyone started laughing. So that's just it. That's the whole thing. Again, Melania Trump, by many individuals on the left, from official places, has been called a prostitute, illegal immigrant so many times we've lost count. But okay.
Up. And I think the reason that it's important is because for a long time, and the roots are in slavery, black women.
The roots are in slavery for a long time. That's why. The reason that Michelle Obama, after a couple of photos that appeared to have some type of a bulge, was called a dude. Because again, there were just conspiracy theories and jokes, like the Muslim prayer curtain nonsense. Pretend that there's no such thing as a Muslim prayer curtain. That whole goofy goober whatever. Okay, in the burgeoning age of Facebook. All right, these things popped up out of nowhere, and they were jokes. Okay, I mean, and they are. They're memed by the younger generations. They're memes. I mean, some older crews still believe them. I hear you, whatever. But making the biggest deal about this and then saying, well, it all goes back to slavery. Bruh.
Have been slurred and made to feel that they were unattractive, made to feel that they were masculine, made to feel that they didn't have the femininity that a white woman would have. And so there's this intersectionality between racism and sexism that was on full display at the White House.
See, that's what it was. See, it all comes from back that someone's like, oh, that's a very athletic one. Oh, so she must be a man because she will never have the feminine primitivity wiles of a Southern white woman. I mean, just it's so stupid. It's so stupid. Okay, as though the real scandal again was that just very recently in the Biden administration, we didn't have dudes with their fake boobies out dancing around and a bunch of like openly sexual stuff on the White House lawn. I mean, a contest of fighting like Teddy Roosevelt hosted at the White House. No. But I mean, big, huge celebrate who we have sex with parties. Hey, yeah, that's honorable.
Welcome to the White House.
Thank you.
Happy Pride Month.
Yeah.
Happy Pride Year. Happy Pride Life.
Pride Month, Pride Year, Pride Life, Pride Brandon, Pride Me, Pride You.
Yeah!
Transgender children.
You are beautiful.
You are heard.
You belong.
You're understood.
You are loved.
Just the kissing. There wasn't any of that at the UFC event either, by the way. There wasn't any, oh, you're just none of that. It was just, hey, beat the crap out of this guy. It's awesome. And then they did, and it was awesome. Just the silliness, the constant silliness on display. It's something.